Not in concert, not on TV. This is where Jungkook and Jimin are now. When most fans thought Jungkook and Jimin would appear on screen or at a surprise concert this summer, the reality shocked everyone. They're not on stage. They also do not appear on major television shows, not on the red carpet, nor in magazine photo shoots. On a day when BTS's schedule is increasingly the subject of speculation, the two are known to be in a place that no one expected at all. A private recording studio is hidden in the Laurel Canyon neighborhood of Los Angeles. This news first emerged from an audio engineer who leaked accidentally on a music producer community forum that there are two Asian superstars working nights in our small studio. A few hours later, a fan site with a wide network in America confirmed that a black van with the same license plate as the American HYB was seen parked on one of the narrow street corners in the legendary studio area. This place is not just any studio. Not the swanky place with neon and glitz it used to be. Quite the opposite, the studio is known as the location used by legendary musicians to record songs with an intimate and spiritual atmosphere. The place was once used by Adele, Frank Ocean, to Bon Iver to create songs full of meaning. And now, in the same place, Jimin and Jungkook are sitting behind an acoustic wall, not as the brightest Korean pop stars, but as two young men who want to convey their hearts through honest and quiet music. What makes this even more emotional is the news from inside that the two don't bring a big crew, don't wear stylists, don't even bring a personal photographer. Just them, a producer, and a vocal engineer. This is a personal project, not commercial, and it might be one of the most intimate pieces they've ever made. A source mentioned that they spent more than 7 hours a day in the room for the past 3 days, and no one is allowed to enter without their direct permission. What are they recording? No one knows yet. But some netizens with expertise in reading voice metadata data suspect that this project is related to an acoustic song with the theme of farewell and forgiveness, given that there is one source who said that Jimin was seen crying after the last take last night. In fact, he said, Jungkook had turned off the studio lights, leaving only the light from the computer screen of the recording while singing one passage called Very Emotional and written by himself, and oddly enough amid all the speculation, none of them tried to hide their existence in earnest. As if they knew that in the end, fans would find them too. But that's not what matters. What matters is what they're creating behind that silent wall. Their presence in this unexpected place is proof that Jimin and Jungkook are no longer just chasing popularity or chart hits. They are creating a legacy. Maybe it's not about spectacular comebacks or grandiose releases. Maybe it's about bringing back their deepest side as human beings, not just idols. And when the song finally comes out into the world, people will remember one thing: that one quiet night in Los Angeles. Two best friends who have been through so much together prefer not to appear in front of the cameras. Instead of sitting side by side and singing what they couldn't say, they weren't at the concert. They don't appear on TV, but they are present in the most sincere place: a small studio, an open heart, and a song that is being born out of silence. Yet, even though they didn't appear on stage, the spotlight on Jimin and Jungkook's names was never completely extinguished. It was precisely behind that silence that the attention of the World Army was increasingly focused on one point. Why did they choose such a place? A modest studio, hidden from the Hollywood crowd, is not on the list of common destinations for Korean musicians, but it is highly respected among independent artists who want to record music from the most honest space in their inner being. For many fans, this is not just another place to record songs. This is a place of purification. And the fact that Jungkook and Jimin chose this place together, stepping aside from the luxury of their usual world, it's a signal that whatever they're working on right now is part of something bigger than a regular comeback. Perhaps this is a travelogue. Maybe it's an album of memories. Or even their deepest confession, not as BTS members, but as two human beings who have grown up together in the spotlight and in solitude. One of the stories that went viral in the international fan community told about a small cafe staff in the Laurel Canyon area who claimed to have seen two very calm Asian guys stop by in the morning with a shabby notebook, just order a black coffee and muffin, then sit for a long time in the corner of the room while talking quietly, without a camera, without a manager, without a single visual identifier as a celebrity. One of them, he said, The smile is sad but warm. Many believe that the two men are Jimin and Jungkook. It was as if it were a small fragment of the big story they were writing. Two artists who could never truly be free, now try to find the meaning of freedom in its simplest form. No longer from grandiose concerts or international awards, but from their own voices, from melodies that come not from labels, but from experience. An insider from the Los Angeles producer community even mentioned that this could be one of the most emotional collaborative projects ever born from BTS members. It is possible that Jimin and Jungkook are recording a personal mini-album, not for a big release, but as a secret message to the army, a letter in the form of a song about what they felt during their separate times. As long as they watch other BTS members serve in the military, and as long as they themselves are in a silent battle with the expectations of the world, what makes things even more touching is the fact that they don't upload anything. None of them felt the need to promote their presence there. And that is precisely what makes many people feel that this is not part of the marketing strategy. This is part of the healing process. Sometimes the quietest place is the noisiest place in your heart, wrote one of the army on Twitter, whose upload has already been liked more than 100,000 times in just a few hours. Many replied with similar sentences. We don't need music videos or posters today. We just want them to be okay. Such are Jimin and Jungkook today. They are not at concerts, not on the TV stage, not even in the presence of camera lenses. But they're speaking to the world in their absence. And precisely because of this, the world is listening harder. When they come out of that studio, maybe they won't bring trophies, but they will bring something much more meaningful. Songs that come from the most personal, most honest, and deepest places. And when that song arrives in our ears, whether tomorrow, next week, or next month, we'll know exactly where they wrote it. Not in the grand arena, but in a quiet little room. And in that moment, we will all feel as if we are there, with them. And the night was again aging in the city of Los Angeles, but the small studio was still lit. Not because of spotlights or large production cameras, but rather by the reflection of soft light from a computer screen that displays the forms of sound waves, the recordings of breaths, chuckles, and whispers of lyrics that only two people sitting in the room understood. Jimin and Jungkook. One of the eyewitnesses of the technical team, who gave only the initials R in his anonymous interview in the producer community, said that the atmosphere inside the studio was like seeing two people who were writing the last letter before disappearing. The sentence immediately spread quickly among ARMY, who began to feel that this project was not just a song recording, but a kind of closure of a major chapter in their lives. Perhaps this is their form of saying goodbye to something. Or rather welcome a completely new beginning. Some fans began to speculate that what was going on was a form of emotional archive, a project in which Jimin and Jungkook document their stories that could never be told in public. Maybe it's about the hard times, about the loneliness of being drafted, or even about how they survived during years in which their identity as human beings was sometimes eclipsed by the world's expectations as global stars. No staging. There's no script. Only they, the voice, and the silence are undemanding. One of the fans from Mexico uploaded a photo of her hand holding headphones while writing, I don't need an album announcement. I just want to feel what they're feeling. The thread is viral. There are no Jungkook visuals. There are no photos of Jimin. But hundreds of thousands of people shared the message as if all understood that this time, it was not the stage or choreography that was in the spotlight, but on the inside. Feelings. And it is much stronger.